I think I just figured out Tobacco Road. That might be Tobacco Road, I'm not sure. Anyway, how you guys doing today? Hope you're doing well. Andy here. You may notice a large white bandage here on the right side of my neck. And if you're a fan of this channel, you might have previously noticed a big gross lump on the side of my neck that I would always cover very casually with the microphone. Anyway, after 2 years of begging my insurance company, I finally was able to get it removed yesterday. Now I just have a painful gash on the side of my neck. And I will be able to remove this bandage soon, and hopefully it won't scar up. But I would love a cool-looking scar, if I could ask the universe for that. But anyway, I figured it was appropriate. I am going through medical issues. Our buddy Ren is going through medical issues, and today we are going to get an update. He apparently gave one on Twitch about how he's doing. First, we're going to look at an old video of him, which when I looked up this video is the first one I saw of him, I think when he was very, very ill many years ago. So we'll get a contrast of kind of where he started, where he is now. If you want to see my original video on REN's Lyme disease, I will link it in the description. I don't put boxes up here. Hair out of the way. Oh, so good to have my neck back. I mean, I can't really turn it super well. I'm kind of Batmaning right now, but you know. So here we are. He looks a lot younger here. Nina Simone once said that it was an artist's duty for their work to fearlessly reflect their life circumstances. I love Nina Simone. Marvelous pianist, marvelous singer, one of the all-time great blues jazz artists, and a deeply heartbroken but powerful woman, a deeply powerful person who suffered incredibly. We're not going to go off on that. We aren't going to go off on that. In 2016, I had a stem cell transplant that saved my life. This video was taken 2 years before that. After the transplant, I decided to force my past into a little box and hide it from myself. I would never watch this video back. There's always been a part of me that's terrified that I'll end up back here and lose myself again. That part of me always gets loudest when I'm on my own with my thoughts. When I got better and my music started becoming successful after years of never thinking it would be possible, I almost treated it as a reincarnation. I barely talk about where I'd come from with friends, but despite my best efforts, my past usually found a way to leak into my music. Here I was convinced I was going to die. I was severely underweight. I had severe bone pain every day. I could barely eat food. I suffered extreme fatigue to the point of even standing in a shower was excruciating. I ended up in a state of stress-induced psychosis. My mind-only rational explanation for the level of suffering I was enduring was that it was some kind of demonic intervention or that I was some part of a twisted experiment or study. This had been my life for years. I'd bounced from doctor to doctor, full of hope, only to have my heart repeatedly stamped on when my condition only worsened. Cut to present day, and PTSD from years of my body torturing itself stopped me from doing work that I think is vital. Shedding light on a very underlit, underfunded, and barely, I love his problem with the word barely, and barely understood area. The plight of the chronically sick. Millions of people all over the world are missing, trapped inside themselves. Conditions like ME/CFS, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, POTS, MCAS, Lyme disease, MS. I don't know what these other terms are, but I'm pretty sure he's talking about syndromes that affect your central nervous system, as Lyme disease does, receive such little funding. To put the lack of funding into perspective, male pattern receives over 1,000 times the funding that many of these chronic illnesses do combined. I think he means male pattern baldness, which I need to get on myself, by the way. Recent studies found the quality of life of a person with chronic ME was significantly worse than somebody with HIV or breast cancer. ME is currently one of the most underfunded diseases at the National Institute of Health. I was one of the exceptionally few very lucky people to escape before I died after receiving a stem cell transplant and finding a hugely restrictive diet that stopped my autoimmunity flaring to the point where it was disabling, but I still suffer a wide array of symptoms every day. To dive deeper into living up to the words of the late, great Nina Simone, who has for a long time been a great source of inspiration for me, I wanted my next piece of work to fearlessly state my past in the face, despite the trauma of doing so.
It's been ages since I've done a blog, and I just thought I'd do one now. I don't know why, but things have gotten loads worse. In the past 3 weeks I've been getting out of the house about 5 minutes a day. The foods that I can eat are now just meat and a few vegetables.
Yep.
And if I eat anything more, I have to it just feels like my whole body shuts down, and I feel like I'm dying. I can't do it for much longer. I don't. It's just like I'm just watching my life disappear. And I need help. And I'm determined that there's something that I can do to get out of this. But I want to make this video because I want people to know how bad it is. Because you don't see how bad it is. Because people like me just spend all the fucking time in the house and you don't see it and you don't experience it. I just want to live. I want to be alive so much. And so I keep looking for a cure, and I've done so much things. I've spent thousands of pounds. I spent thousands of pounds and gone to hospitals. I've gone to some of the best specialists in the world.
So, like as I said in my other video, a friend of mine has Lyme disease. She had a really, not over the same stretch of time, but over years, a really, really tough time getting a diagnosis and beginning treatments. And I know her diet's very limited. I'm diabetic, so my diet is very limited. And I remember when I had to switch to my now diet, I think he's right at the beginning. It seems like a huge life change. Aside from the fact that he's really kind of at the end of his rope here. He really seems like he's struggling with incredible depression and anxiety. He's obviously very cold. He's just incapable of kind of fighting anymore. He seems really at the end of his rope. And sometimes I think when you see all the different ways in which this disease is going to affect your life, it's so overwhelming.
I'm still so sick. I just need help. Oh, fuck.
Doesn't he look like
I'm
Cillian
putting this up
Murphy?
because I
Cillian
just
Murphy?
want to be as honest as possible. In all my dreams, I can barely make music these days, and I'm watching everybody else grow up and do all the things that people do when they grow up. I just spend all my life in a house watching the world just pass. It's like worse than prison because I just don't know if there's ever going to be a way out. And I just want a way out. And I don't know what to do anymore because I've done so many tests and stuff, and I know there's always more tests and stuff, but like I just get my hopes up every time, and every treatment that I do, I get my hopes up that it's going to be the thing that cures me. And then it doesn't, and I'm back here again, and I'm so fed up of being back here. And if this illness does kill me, then I want this video. I want somebody who can take notice of this video and do something with it. Somebody that could look at it and take it to people that go, okay, we need to research this more because people are really suffering. Somebody that can help find a cure for this. It's such a fucking mystery. And then I just wait. When everyone gets on with the rest of their days and goes out in the house, and I just wait, hoping that there's something better around the next corner. Just wait, hoping that there's some sort of treatment or something. Suddenly I'll just hit the nail on the head and everything will be okay. And I get my hopes up so much every time I do something, and How many times can you do it? How many times can I take it? How many times can I take that process of pinning my hopes on something so much and feeling so happy when I feel a 10% improvement, thinking that it's just going to be an upward hill, and then crashing right back here and just fucking ending up in bed all day watching the world ticking past. I just can't do it, man. It's fucking horrible. And I don't know what I want to gain out of this video. I just hope that, I don't know, but I am still here and I haven't given up, and that's because I think that there's still part of me that's like, there'll be some way out, and it'll be worth it all. And I just fucking hope I'm right, because I can't do it for more years. Like, I'm just watching all my young years just fucking pass by. Oh. Praying for a miracle. I want a miracle.
First of all, incredible applause to this. He's so right. I mean, what he's going through here is just, it looks like exactly like depression. It's depression induced by the illness that he's suffering through and the circumstances of his life. But it's created that realm for him where he's, am I being punished? Is everybody against me? How could my life be so specifically awful? Why did this terrible thing happen to me? A very horrible... I always chuckle when I talk about the horrors of my own life. When I was 6 years old, I was in a horrible car accident in which I watched my mother bleed to death. At that time, I didn't know how to process it. It's taken years to be able to process it. And especially because during my childhood, I also had to deal with other things. I didn't just have to deal with that. I understand what it's like to feel trapped in that way. I understand what it's like to feel hopeless, to feel like all you can do is sit there and cry. And people say, well, don't feel sorry for yourself. Sometimes you feel really sorry for yourself. Sometimes you wallow in self-pity because that's what the emotion is. You know, it doesn't mean it's not going to, not every moment can be helpful. Not every moment can be you overcoming. Sometimes you just have to acknowledge the low point. He says, I don't know if I can do it for more years in this. He's got 2 more years ahead of him before he gets the treatment that would actually end up saving his life. And think about, inside this man is this incredible wealth of musical gifts to give to the world. Like, he's such an interesting artist. He's one of the most kind of interesting people who've actually made it, who are now getting big and getting bigger. Huge respect for him doing this, him putting this out now, him sitting here at his weakest moment, his lowest moment. Now he's at his strongest. He's showing us who he was at his weakest. All right, so now let's look at where he is now. REN's illness update. Let's get a happy ending out of here, huh?
Forgive me for not being as involved as I was last year, at the end of last year, but I've had to take some time for myself because of all the health stuff. So I've been like, just taking some me time, basically. Have I had maple syrup? No, I can't. My diet's proper restricted at the moment here. So as soon as I can, I'm going to drown myself in maple syrup.
Maple syrup.
The treatment's going okay. So today I went into the doctor.
You know, there's interesting videos on maple syrup. It is wonderful. They don't know how to synthesize it exactly. I was watching some science video about how they can't recreate it synthetically. It's like such a perfect molecule. So yes, maple syrup is very, very good. Sounds like he's able to eat better. That's awesome.
Today I went into the doctors and I had, I've got like, all right. I don't know if anyone else can relate to this, yeah? You know when you get spots, yeah? I rarely get them, but when I get them, I just get one massive one. And I've got one like right here on my nose.
Yeah, and it's a zit place.
It's always just one really massive fucking spot.
Yeah.
It does my head in. It's not like...
It's because you go like this. You got oils on your fingers, bro.
But anyway, that's what my nose is glowing today.
I love how perfect his hair has to be.
Nasally glow. Also as well, yeah, I quit smoking, bro. I'm 2 months... You'll probably notice, like,
he was smoking?
The streams that I did before Christmas, I was just sat here. I was a chain smoker, a shameless chain smoker.
Wow.
And I obviously had to quit smoking for this treatment. And
I smoked for years. I smoked from the time I was 17 till the time I was 28. I got up to 2 packs a day. Mwah! Beautiful habit. The ladies love it. Such a great thing. Smoking way more commonplace in America years ago, especially on the East Coast. I see nobody smoke here in LA, very rarely. Quitting smoking is really hard to do, but maybe when you've like gone through what he's gone through, it gets a little bit easier. It was hard for me to do, but it was definitely possible. For me, if you're having trouble quitting smoking, what helped with me was just I moved. That big change of scene, it just stopped all the triggers. Like I wasn't driving in the same way. I was taking public transportation, so I couldn't. I used to smoke all the time when I would drive. I used to just smoke all the time, and it moved to LA for a little bit if you want to quit smoking. But anyway, glad he could do it. I can't believe he was smoking throughout his illness. That I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Probably didn't help, but who knows? Anyway, good for him. Glad he quit.
I think this thing is making my skin look a little bit nicer. I think, because I was looking pretty unhealthy and deathly ill, and it may have been something to do with all the cigarettes I was smoking, as well as this autoimmune business.
And I'm looking. This is actually a really much longer. Kind of update from him on his Twitch page is about an hour and 20 minutes. We're not going to watch the whole thing. I think we've gotten mostly the health update stuff.
I just love Fender Telecasters, man. Like this is my dream guitar, and I've got it. Like I love.
Oh hell yeah!
I don't need some like 1960s relic
Telecaster.
60s relic Telecaster. This does the job, bro. Like I played.
Agree. I don't like the relics, but I'm not trashing people who like relic. But
I played a bunch of them in the shop. This was the one that sounded my favorite. It was only £600. It's a Japanese Telecaster. I've had it for like 5 years, and
the story is that Fender will not sell Japanese products in the United States because they're so incredibly well made that people won't buy the American and Mexican made stuff. They'll only buy the Japanese stuff. I don't know if that's true, but that's the old rumor about Fender Japan. I would love to play a Fender Tele one day.
And I've never played a guitar that I like more than it. So like, this is my fucking favorite guitar.
That's awesome. Yeah, I remember going to Guitar Center one time years ago and discovering this Tele that was way out of my price range, but just totally fibbing to the guy and being like, yeah, this is interesting. How much is it? Oh, $20 million? Okay. But just loving, if you have never played a Tele, there's something about the kind of thick neck, especially if you've been playing a lot of Strats and stuff. You've been playing those really quick little C-shaped necks and everything like that. Especially those, I think that's a Slimline. It's hard to tell, but they have this kind of thicker neck. I don't know. It's a little bit easier to grip. Maybe especially if you have kind of longer hands like I do. It might just be a little bit easier to have that little bit of girth there.
That's it. If it does the job, it does the job.
He seems to be like, if he's contemplating a syrup drowning, then he seems to be in really good shape. I wish him all the luck in the world. I hope he gets his hair how he wants. Another thing I hope he does is like talks about Lyme, talks about maybe how he got his diagnosis. I know he's talked about a lot of the different aspects of it. I don't think he needs to like become a spokesman for it, but I think he could probably help a lot of people. Like if he's asked about it, he'll stay talking about it, and he'll stay just kind of unafraid of his past. And I find if you can learn from something, you can... That is processing it. It seems like this guy has really not just been like, oh, okay, well, I got out of that jam, so I'm just going to start acting like an idiot. No, it seems like he's really taking on the opportunities, creating. He's being thoughtful. He's being smart. He's giving back. He's showing other creators on his channels. He's doing it right. Wish him all the luck in the world. If you like my channel, which I know you do, come on. And you love come on, I got this slim, got my neck figure back. We got sexy Andrew head back. If you like me, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell button. And until next time, keep playing.